ekam aksharam hrudi nirantaram bhasate swayam likyate hridaya madhye kevalam brahmamatram aham maham iti sakshat atmarupena bhati hridi vishamanasa swam chinvata majjata avanachalanarudha atmanishto deham mrunmaya jadatmakam aham buddharnatasyastyato naham tattata bhavashukti samaye siddha na sadbha oham bhavayuta kuto varadhiya drishtatmanishtatmana soham spurtitaya arunachala shivaha purno vibhati swayam soham spurtitaya arunachala shivaha purno vibhati swayam. Namo Ramana. In this, the Thursday Satsang from Ramana Maharshi Center for Learning, it has been our practice to select two verses from the work Guruvachika Kovai by Muruganar Swamigal. The verse selection is done randomly by Revati, and each verse is read. The verse reading is followed by a short meditation on its meaning, and that is followed by the practice of self-enquiry for 15 minutes. After these two segments of verse reading, meditation on meaning, and the practice of Atma Ucharan are completed, there will be summing up remarks by Venkatesh Deshpande ji, and that will be followed by the offering of Sri Ramanastotram. The chanting will be by Vaibhav ji and Pratnama online, and we will all inquire as to who is the real listener and put the attention on the false ego in the very process of enquiring who is the real listener. With Bhagavan's immense grace, let us begin the satsang by taking up the first verse selected for us, verse number 465. Verse 465 is in the segment investigation into truth. The other two segments that follow are meditation on the truth and anubhava, experience of the truth. Investigation clarifies the matter. Then we start meditating and removing the false and hold the truth. Then the experience of the truth is the final chapter. 465, the subsegment is reality. Atma Swarupa is the transcendence beyond time and space. Atma Swarupa is the transcendence beyond time and space. The one continues to exist as the sole existing entity at all times and in all places and from time immemorial. The one, the Atma Swarupa, continues to exist as the sole existing entity at all times, in all places, and from time immemorial. Therefore, other than that one, which is inescapably present as one's own reality, all times and all places will become mere concepts and cease to exist. Therefore, other than that one, which is present at all times, at all places, from time immemorial, that alone is the truth. And all times and all places, which are mere aggregation of discrete points, they will all drop away in the Swarupa Jnana, in the experience of the oneself. There is a similar verse in Ulladu Narpadu, Namandri Naledu Nadedu. Without the self, is there time, is there place? Namudambel Nalnatul Nampadum. If we identify with this Chitjada Granthi called the body, then we will appear to be trapped in time and space. I was born in 1962. I am existing in Bengaluru, in this particular place. In just the spot in front of me, I don't exist. So my existence is limited by time and space when I identify with the body. But when I inquire, Namudambo, who am I? Am I this body? When I inquire, I am Freemason. Nam Indru Andru Endrum Mundru. Yesterday, today, tomorrow, the I is always the same. Here, there, everywhere, the I is always the same. The I alone is time and place or not. So, this exists all the time. That sentence also is dependent on time. Therefore, it does not describe Atma Lakshana. It is in time immemorial. That also doesn't. It existed before time was formed. And it will be revealed as soon as the Ide Granthi, the ego is gone. So when we say, when the ego is gone, it will be revealed, then once again it is bound by time. So you cannot describe it in any way. It is beyond time and space. Any attempt to describe it, to continue, to say that it is a continuity, to say that it is the ending of continuity, all that is still an insufficient way of describing the self, because the self-attentive self, the Swarupa, which is self-luminous, Soham Spurti Taya Arunachala Shivaha Purno Vibhati Swayam. It is shining by itself. It is not dependent on time. It is not dependent on space. It is shining by itself. It is shining without need, none. This separation as you and I. It is the fundamental Shruti note which goes on in Bhagavan after his enlightenment, which he says is not disturbed by activities in time and space also. Even when the body was speaking about the Swarupa Jnana did not go away from him. Even when he was eating food, when he was cooking food, when he was walking, the he we are referring to once again is the Chittada Granthi. Even in all those situations, the Swarupa Jnana did not go anywhere. The Swarupa Jnana is indestructible. Ekam aksharam. Yadi nirantaram bhasate swayam. Likyate katam. How to express it, how to trap it in time and space. To tell that it continues in all of time is also wrong. To say that it will definitely appear once the ego is destroyed is also wrong. Sadhagattile duvidam, sadhyatil adduvidam, oduginra vadamadu unmayala. He says that branch of the spiritual exploration called Visishtadvaita, which says that when you are in the process of enquiry, Ishvara is Ishvara, the Jiva is Jiva. But once the enquiry is completed, the Ekatma stands revealed. That is also not true because Sadhagattile Duvidam means the truth is subservient to time. At some point of time, it is not available. At some point in time, it becomes available, makes the truth subservient to time. Therefore, that statement also has to be removed. Then is the Advaitic statement that the Swarupa will stand revealed when the ego is removed. When the ego is removed, if you say, then when Ajnana is removed, you say, then also you are bringing in the time element, when. Therefore, Advaita also cannot be expressed. It is to be experienced or it is to be identified with as the Akanda Atma, as the feeling of I, where the reasoning and where the thoughts have completely been eliminated. Then the I, that spirit which underlies the whole, that spirit raises and answers. Soham spurti taya arunachala shivaka. Purno vibhati swayam. The Satchit will raise and answer your quest, who am I? But then that is not bound in time. That is not caught up in time and space. Therefore, time and space are unreal. So nobody's form is real. No, once one is in Atma Swarupa, one doesn't see anybody as bound by their body or mind. There is no reality in seeing so many people are attending self-enquiry. So in Atma Vichara, that which is beyond form, beyond time and place, because body is the granthi of time and space and consciousness together. Whereas the consciousness that is self-aware is beyond all that. Let us sit in Atma Vicharam for the next 15 minutes. Ujjwalji will give you the trouble of setting us the time. Thank you.
नमो भगवते श्रीरमणाय।
Namo Ramana. We continue by taking up the next verse selected for us, verse 990. Verse 990, we find it in the segment Experience of the Truth. The subsegment is the harmony of religions. The harmony of religions. Verse 990. Even if those ignorant people in whom consciousness has not attained fullness fabricate a new religion out of envy and anger towards existing beliefs, you should know that it, the new religion, is also acceptable to Shivam, which shines purely in the form of division-free consciousness. Burgnar has written a small note. As Shivam shines as consciousness alone, all religions that arise as an activity of consciousness belong to Shivam. If out of narrow-mindedness a new religion comes into being, as if the diverse religions that currently exist are not sufficient, that religion too is not opposed to Shiva. So, any formation of new panthi, new form of thought is not unacceptable to the division-free consciousness. See, the division-free consciousness we saw is free of the divisions of time and space, free of the divisions created by thought, free of the divisions as I and you, personalities. Therefore, it is free of all divisions as Hinduism, Christianity, Mohammedan, or whatever stream of religion is there. All of them, they are all sets of thoughts and beliefs, and fundamentally they all aim at removing bondage and giving liberation. All the religions. So if to remove bondage, what is bondage? Bondage is attachment to body, attachment to mind where relationships exist, attachment to dharma, adharma. This is bondage. All religions are aimed at primarily, though they may promise many of the worldly wealth also, that is not the main aim of religions. The main aim is only to free the jiva from bondage. And bondage is the reason for dukkha. We understand that when somebody else's child fails, there is no dukkha for me. But when my daughter fails, there is dukkha. So the dukkha is not in failure of somebody. The dukkha is in saying, my daughter has failed. The attachment, the bandham. My body was healthy. Now it is getting this disease, that disease, and I am anxious about this. So that is bodily bondage. I am taking care of my mother. I have taken care of my father. I am a righteous person. This is attachment or bondage to dharma. And Chanakya says, dharma is common in nature. The sparrow is austere. It just brings a little and sings the glory of God all through the day. So how can the pride claim it? It belongs to everyone. So all goodness belongs to nature. It does not belong to any individual ego. Don't have pride. But then we have pride. I am a, and we call it also as self-confidence. But then that is bandham. When somebody challenges it, when nature challenges it, when mother and father decide to go away, enough is enough, we want to be separate and live in our own. What happens to that? So, the bondage and its removal is the main purpose of all religion. And Bhagavan's teachings is that all bondage, all mamakara is rooted in ahankara. When the ahankara is rooted out, the Shivam, the division free consciousness, shines as I. The self alone is Shivam. Now, that Shivam, if I tomorrow decide that the present teachings are not enough, and out of my ego and deceit and conceit, I decide to set up, I am saying something new. It is not about the removal of bondage and giving of liberation, or not even saying bondage and liberation do not exist, but it is something new and totally created by me. Bhagavan is saying here, Shivam will not be opposed to that. Meaning, Shivam will not be disturbed by any of this. That is why even the bodily actions, the mental actions of the jnani do not take away his non-separative ahamham. It continues, the Shivam continues. Once the jnana is attained, the bodily actions, the thoughts do not disturb the Shivam. In fact, they are all aligned with Shivam. Everything is aligned, not realizing that alignment is Jiva Bhava. And when that goes, everything is the Spurana, everything is the non-separative Shivam, which will not be affected by any new set of thoughts gathered together as another religion. All religions are aimed at Mamakara and Ahankara removal. That is the summum bonum of all religious teachings. And when Ahankara is dismantled, Shivam is there. That is not opposed to any new religion also, is that verse. Here Bhagavan says, when the Ahankara is attacked and removed, the thought of bondage itself is not there. So will there be thought of liberation, he says. When Bhattannan ennum matte bandha mukti sindane. Bhattanar என்று தன்னை பார்க்கும் கால் சித்தமாய் நித்தமுத்தன் தான் நிற்காதே பந்த சிந்தை mukti சிந்தை முன் நிற்குமோ. When the Shivam is identified with, there is no thought of bondage. So the whole field of religious activity is fulfilled because bondage itself does not appear. There is no thought of liberation. That is what is practiced in Atma-vichara. The ever-present self, which is not against any field of thought, is what is, I can't even say found when the ego is dismantled. It is ever present. Can we say that? That also we can't say because it is with reference to time. So let us better experience it and practice Atma-vicharam for the next 15 minutes. Ujjwalji will trouble you again.
नमो भगवते श्रीरमणाय।
Namo Ramana. May I request Venkatesh ji to give us the summing up remarks. Namo Ramana, sir.
Namo Ramana. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Dhyanamoolam Guru Pujamulam Guru Padam Mantramulam Vakyam Mokshamulam Guru Mokshamulam Guru Namo Ramana. So these two verses are very interesting. The first verse, obviously, when you go think of Ganga, what comes to your mind? If you think of Ma Ganga, what comes to your mind? Water that's very cold, water that's dirty, dirty, and water that's muddy. So a typical devotee who goes to Ganga sees Ganga as some dirty water and muddy water, and probably give me infection if I go in. So what happens? A person who's caught in time and space will say, let's go and clean Ganga. Let's go make Ganga more pure. But look at it. Look at what Swami Shivananda would say. Swami Shivananda would say, Ganga is purity itself. Ganga is divine itself. Ganga is my mother. That's what Swami Shivananda said. So look at the difference. If you're caught up in time and space, in the body and mind, then you look at Ganga as something dirty. It needs to be cleaned up. But what's the nature of the Ganga? Is purity. Exactly the same thing for us. If you look at the body, mind, ego, you'll see all the different bodies, different um, sizes of people, men, women, other things. But if you really look at the Satchidananda Atman, then where are the bodies? So similarly, the second verse is beautiful. Now the same Ganga which merges into the ocean, what is the ocean finally? The ocean is basically water, and the water evaporates. The evaporates become these clouds and falls all over the place, rains all over the place. And then they call it separate, they call it Ganga, they call it Kaveri, they call it Godavari, Narmada, Sindhu, Kaveri, all these different names they give to that same water. But ask the water. The water will say, that's all me only, there's nothing else but me. But person who's bound thinks that all these are different. Ganga is different, Kaveri is different. But you ask the water in the ocean, it says that's all me. Like that for Shivam also. That if you try to, even if you try to make consciousness into different parts, for Shivam, for the consciousness, it's all one. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Namo Ramana.
Namo Ramana, sir. Thank you so much. May I request Vaibhavji and Pratnama to help us with the chanting. Namo Ramana.
भारद्वाज विश्वनाथ विरचितं श्रीरमणाष्टोत्तर शतनामावलिः अपार सच्चे सुखवारिराशे यस्योर्विमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि। ॐ महासेन महंसेन जाताय नमः। ॐ श्रीरमणाय नमः। ॐ गुरवे नमः। ॐ अखण्डसंविदाकाराय नमः। ॐ महौजसे नमः। ॐ कारणोद्भवाय नमः। ॐ जगद्धितावताराय नमः। ॐ श्रीभूमिनाथस्थलोस्थिताय नमः। ॐ पराशरकुलोत्तंसाय नमः। ॐ सुन्दरार्यतपःफलाय नमः। ॐ कमनीयसुचारित्राय नमः। ॐ सहायाम्बा सहायवते नमः। ॐ शोणाचलमहोलीनमानसाय नमः। ॐ स्वर्णहस्तकाय नमः। ॐ श्रीमद्द्वादशान्तमहास्थले लब्धविद्योदयाय नमः। ॐ महाशक्तिनिपातेन प्रबुद्धाय नमः। ॐ परमार्थविदे नमः। ॐ तीव्राय नमः। ॐ पितृपदान्वेषिणे नमः। ॐ इन्दुमौळिना पितृमते नमः। ॐ पितुरादेशतः शौर्णशैलं प्राप्ताय नमः। ॐ तपोमयाय नमः। ॐ उदासीनाय नमः। ॐ महायोगिने नमः। ॐ महोत्साहाय नमः। ॐ कुशाग्रधिये नमः। ॐ शान्तसङ्कल्पसंरम्भाय नमः। ॐ सुसन्द्रशे नमः। ॐ सवित्रे नमः। ॐ स्थिराय नमः। ॐ तपक्षपितसर्वाङ्गाय नमः। ॐ फुल्लाम्बुजविलोचनाय नमः। ॐ चन्द्रिकासितहासश्रीमण्डिताननमण्डलाय नमः। ॐ चूतवाट्यां समासीनाय नमः। ॐ चूर्णिताखिलविभ्रमाय नमः। ॐ वेदवेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञाय नमः। ॐ चिन्मुद्रिणे नमः। ॐ त्रिगुणातिगाय नमः। ॐ विरूपाक्षगुहावासाय नमः। ॐ विराजदशलाकृतये नमः। ॐ उद्दीप्तनयनाय नमः। ॐ पूर्णाय नमः। ॐ रचिताचलताण्डवाय नमः। ॐ गम्भीराय नमः। ॐ परमाचार्याय नमः। ॐ सुप्रसन्नाय नमः। ॐ अभयप्रदाय नमः। ॐ दक्षिणास्य निभाय नमः। ॐ धीराय नमः। ॐ दक्षिणाभिमुखाय नमः। ॐ स्वराजे नमः। ॐ महर्षये नमः। ॐ भगवते नमः। ॐ ईड्याय नमः। ॐ भूमविद्याविशारदाय नमः। ॐ विमलाय नमः। ॐ दीर्घदर्शिने नमः। ॐ आप्ताय नमः। ॐ ऋजुमार्गप्रदर्शकाय नमः। ॐ समदृशे नमः। ॐ सत्यदृशे नमः। ॐ सत्याय नमः। ॐ प्रशान्ताय नमः। ॐ अमितविक्रमाय नमः। ॐ सुकुमाराय नमः। ॐ सदानन्दाय नमः। ॐ मृदुभाषिणे नमः। ॐ दयार्णवाय नमः। ॐ श्रीशोणाचलऋद्बोधस्कन्दाश्रमनिकेतनाय नमः। ॐ सद्दर्शनोपदेष्ट्रे नमः। ॐ सद्भक्तवृन्दपरिवृताय नमः। ॐ गणेशमुनिभृङ्गेन सेविताङ्घ्रिसरोरुहाय नमः। ॐ गीतोपदेशसारादिग्रन्थसञ्चिन्न संशयाय नमः। ॐ वर्णाश्रममतातीताय नमः। ॐ रसज्ञाय नमः। ॐ सौम्याय नमः। ॐ आत्मवते नमः। ॐ सर्वावनिमतस्थानाम् आराध्याय नमः। ॐ सर्वसद्गुणिने नमः। ॐ आत्मारामाय नमः। ॐ महाभागाय नमः। ॐ मात्रमुक्तिविधायकाय नमः। ॐ विनताय नमः। ॐ विनुताय नमः। ॐ विप्राय नमः। ॐ मुनीन्द्राय नमः। ॐ पावकोज्ज्वलाय नमः। ॐ दर्शनादग संहारिणे नमः। ॐ मौनेन स्वात्मबोधकाय नमः। ॐ ऋच्चान्तिकरसान्निध्याय नमः। ॐ स्मरणात् बन्धमोचकाय नमः। ॐ अन्तस्तिमिरचण्डांशवे नमः। ॐ संसारार्णवतारकाय नमः। ॐ शोणादृशस्तुतिद्रष्टे नमः। ॐ हार्दविद्याप्रकाशकाय नमः। ॐ अविच्युतनिजप्रज्ञाय नमः। ॐ नैसर्गिकमहातपसे नमः। ॐ कमण्डलुधराय नमः। ॐ शुभ्रकौपीनवसनाय नमः। ॐ गुहाय नमः। ॐ दण्डपाणये नमः। ॐ कृपापूर्णाय नमः। ॐ भवरोगविषग्वराय नमः। ॐ स्कन्दाय नमः। ॐ देवतमाय नमः। ॐ अमर्त्याय नमः। ॐ सेनान्ये नमः। ॐ पुरुषोत्तमाय नमः। ॐ श्रीरमण भगवते नमः। श्रीरमणाष्टोत्तरशतनाम पूजां समर्पयामि। यस्थानोररुणाचलस्य पतयोः स्मृत्याजनिं प्राप्यत दिव्यानुग्रह सुप्रवाह विवश सादात्म्यभावं गतः निष्ठस्वगभीरनित्यतपसा लोकान् पुनासेकराट् तस्मै श्रीरमणाय ते नम इदं लोकोत्तरज्योतिषे। ॐ नमो भगवते श्रीरमणाय।
नमो रमणा, नमो रमणा, जी प्रार्थना। नमो रमणा वेंकटेश जी, नमो रमणा वेंकटेश जी।